We are so excited to have with us Gil Escontrias and Nyki Bell from Blue Line Dogs here, and they brought their friend Sesame with them. Thanks for coming in this morning, all three of you. Gil, tell us about Blue Line Dogs.
Well, Blue Line Dogs is the certification and training organization. We're a nonprofit that provides dogs, therapy dogs, to first responders. We provide what we generally refer to as mental health moments, and we do this with no cost to the law enforcement agency or the fire agency of which we're affiliated with.
Well, let me just follow up on that. So, is the dog sent to the station, or is this for personal use for these?
This is for the station, actually, for a wellness program that just about every first responding agency generally are now really working on in order to deal with trauma or issues or preventive care, if you will, for first responders who deal with those situations.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense. Oh my gosh, look at that face. You're welcome to ask questions in this segment.
I'm playing with Sesame.
I get it.
Okay.
That's how this always plays out with the animals.
It's true. I'm an animal person. I'm super allergic, but I took Zyrtec and have my inhaler because it's totally worth it, and I have them anyway. So, how long have you guys been doing this, and how did you get started?
Well, the program informally, probably about 15 years.
Okay.
I was a detective with the Los Angeles Police Department. I retired after 36 years, and then I returned back as a reserve officer. One of my assignments was I actually worked the mental evaluation unit at LAPD, and I was responsible for development of law enforcement-related mental health programs in dealing with the mentally ill in the department, or actually in the field, teaching officers how to deal with it. One of the things we kind of really looked at was that when officers dealing with people in crisis generally can absorb that type of crisis as well. So we started looking into animal-assisted therapy. My last assignment was in child pornography. I was the senior detective at the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. So one of the biggest things there in dealing with the investigations, we started developing. I brought my dog in, and so we started the program there with the LAPD for that. Prior to coming on to the LAPD, I was a military working dog handler for the United States Air Force. In fact, I was stationed out at Edwards Air Force Base out here. So I kind of blended my law enforcement experience with my dog training experience, and again with my supervisory law enforcement experience. And then so we ended up putting that together. I approached the chief LAPD and said, can we start this program? And then they said, how much is it going to cost? And I said, well, I'm retiring. We'll do it for free. And that's how we started.
Yeah. And I've been a part of the group for a year now as the lead trainer for the humans and the dogs.
The humans and the... By the way, is there... Not that we're going to pick favorites or anything. Is there a better breed when it comes to therapy dogs?
Absolutely not.
What?
No.
Absolutely not. This dog, Sesame, I mean, Gil has a purebred Labrador Retriever and a Xoloitzcuintli.
Xoloitzcuintli, yes.
But Sesame here and her sister is also part of the program, so I alternate between the two. Are dogs that I rescued, and they were found on the street. So they were adults when I got them, and honestly, with the right training and dedication, any dog can do this work.
So you can teach an old dog new tricks?
Yes, you can.
Very much so.
Got it.
We kind of look at it this way. There's a dog for everyone and everyone for a dog. Yeah. Especially when we go out with people and they interact. Some people it can trigger. I had a dog when I was a young kid and was this breed or that breed. So when we bring in all different breeds, it can elicit all different types of reactions to it.
Yeah. We talk about both of us are pet lovers, and we unfortunately we had our dog just passed our golden retriever Bentley, and a month later the cat went. It was their time, but they're just constantly therapeutic. Even this is Sesame's a professional.
Yes.
But boy, going home and being stressful and getting a hug from that dog is just wonderful, wonderful moment.
Yeah.
Well, the animal-assisted therapy goes all the way back to the Roman times, even Sigmund Freud and such. And again, the physiological changes that you go through, and we've recognized that especially in law enforcement. And we kind of say this, your dog can really tell when you're having a bad day,
Yeah.
Your cat can tell too, but your cat doesn't
Doesn't
care.
care. I've been
It's
telling
true.
my family that forever.
Right.
It's
So,
true.
so the dog in doing that in unconditional, so in taking it into your environment can really help out.
What's been the reaction from law enforcement? What have some of the officers told you?
It can go either from, again, mostly, I've had all positive from the point of saying, this has just made my day. We've had, for example, someone who had we call it trigger date. She had a day that she came to work where the year prior she had run over some guy and it killed him, or he actually jumped from a building and fell in front of her car, and she doesn't know whether the fall killed him or him running him over.
Yeah.
So she was having it was an anniversary day, and so she says, I don't know if I can make it through the day. And because one of the things is that we really push out for dispatchers, our civilian side of the first responders, we have a tendency to forget about them. So anyway, she indicated that she didn't think she could make it through the day. The dogs come in and she's good to go for the day. Such. Yeah. We've had that all the way up to officers hugging and actually crying, okay, because of the situations that they were going through and just saying again, we call them mental health moments.
Yeah.
Providing tail wagging therapy,
Yeah.
and so it's all positive.
I think the biggest thing with dogs and why they're so therapeutic is they don't judge, right? There's no judgment.
Thank goodness.
They love you. They just love.
There's enough
don't need to
judgment
hear it
amongst
anymore.
humans.
Yes. That's right, Sesame.
So, I love her.
know
I
you
just
do.
love her so
Hi,
much. She
sweetheart.
smiles.
Yes, she does smile.
She totally
She does
smiles.
smile.
She
And it
smiled
makes
at
me
me.
smile.
Yeah, she said, "Take me home, Martha." Well, no. I know.
She has a job to do.
So, I saw a couple of the photographs that they were playing. You guys have a dog that's like this big too. So when you say
Right.
any breed can be therapeutic,
Right.
So how do you? There's some dogs that tend to be a little louder. You know,
Yeah.
like the little itty bitty chihuahuas that just bark nonstop.
Right.
Those are. I don't picture those being therapy dogs. How does
Every
that
dog
work?
is different. It depends really on the dog's capacity to learn. Every dog has capacity to learn. It's to what extent or limit can they learn. And there's a lot of factors on that. I don't believe age is a factor.
Okay.
I believe that the dog's personality, like the individual dog, is a factor. But between our experience, I mean, Gil has over 40 years of dog training experience, military, law enforcement, all of that. We have not had a dog that we couldn't train come through the program. All of the dogs who've come through the program have seen massive progression in their training and are doing incredible.
How do you guys? Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
How are you guys funded? If you guys are,
We're a nonprofit.
how can we help?
Actually,
Okay.
my retirement for the first 5 years
Oh, my goodness.
started it. I did it.
Good for you.
And so we rely on the generosity of a couple of benefactors. But in the meantime, anybody who wants to make a donation, we're good to go. We are a 501c3 corporation, and everything. Actually, none of us get paid. So everything in the training, because we could put anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000 in each dog before they're ready to go certified, but we're all volunteers, with the exception of the sheriffs, which they utilize their civilian employees for that.
Two questions for me. Where are you located? A and B. How do you find your dogs?
Actually, we're based generally out of Redondo Beach because that's where I live, but we go countywide. Okay. Again, we have an MOA, an agreement with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. Okay. In fact,
Which is the department that handles this. area.
Right. In fact, one of our first sheriff's dogs was out of Santa Clarita.
Oh, really? Okay.
So we'll go wherever the sheriff asks us to go. That's our agreement. We also, with the Los Angeles Police Department, we have them. We have Burbank Police Department, Vernon Police Department, and we are just signing off today with LA City Fire.
Okay.
Okay. So we will go wherever we need, but we also believe in mutual aid. So if, for example, we have been called by the California Highway Patrol, we will go to their dispatch. So if any agency calls up within LA County, or even sometimes even beyond, because again, the need for wellness is very important. If the officer can't work, they're no good.
We forget about that. They see some stuff, some hideous stuff. And where did you find the dogs though?
Each volunteer will bring their own personal dog in.
Oh, really?
They own their own dog.
Some people join the program and then get dogs afterwards, after they understand what the training looks like, and then they pick their dog. Other people bring their existing dogs that they already own. I already owned Sesame and thought she would be good for a therapy capacity, which is how I got involved.
I'm going to follow up one more time on that because I know that I had a friend who handled some of the assist dogs for people who are seeing impaired.
Yes.
and they would literally put them through something similar to an academy, like
Yes.
law enforcement goes
Yes.
through, and they'd have dogs that fail.
Yes.
Yes.
We love those dogs.
So you can.
There are
yes.
a number of dogs who have
We love
failed
those
out of guide dog school
Yeah.
and have come to our program.
Yeah.
Wow.
Career change.
Yeah,
They should-
yeah, we
that's
call
what
it
they
a
call
career
change.
pivot.
And we really like them because the base that they have is very strong and very good.
Yeah.
And the socialization is really good at what they're doing.
And generally, their temperament is wonderful. They just didn't pass one criteria.
Yeah.
So everything else, they just have a really strong foundation.
Yeah.
So do you guys take volunteers then?
Yes.
You guys
Yes.
take volunteers. So, and I'm already picturing. I'm like, okay, well, could I do this? I'm very strict with my children, with my humane children, but with my animals, I have a really hard time with boundaries. Like even when you're up and you kind of pulled them by this thing, I'm like, let me just put my fingers in there to see if I can like loosen that up a little bit. I'm so bad when it comes to animals. There's something about this cold, wet nose that just I melt. I melt.
Yeah.
So
It's a tough thing to balance.
yeah.
Don't get me wrong,
Sesame.
love on the dogs
Okay.
when they're off duty. When they're on duty, they have a job. And that's something that the dogs learn over time is that
Right.
when they're doing the job versus when they're not, when they're pet dogs versus when they're working dogs.
Wow.
And she is very good at knowing that. All of the dogs will learn that over time. But also, the handler kind of has to change their mindset about working because when you're working with a dog, it's not your pet, it's your partner. And you need to change your mindset about that because if you are going out with a partner to do a job together, you have higher standards than your family member,
Right.
And so you need to kind of change your mindset and it for both the human and the dog.
Real quickly,
love that.
last question for me is, when you say when they're on duty, what do those duties entail for the dog?
Well, each one would depend. If we're generally going to what we generally refer to as provident care, we're just showing up and, hey, how's it going, everything. Then that could just include visits. Again, ask and acknowledge. Safety is very important and such. Then it can go and say, for example, a crisis situation. We just had
Fires.
they'll move up more. But the crisis one, for example, or a morale issue. I had a captain from a station say, I have a morale issue. Can you bring the dogs in? And it kind of boosts up in the steps, if you will. The next one would be, like, for example, a crisis care. We had, unfortunately, a sergeant from the LA County Sheriff pass away, and we would go in there to console, basically, his coworkers. And then it goes up into full crisis mode, if you will, like the fires. We were at the fires for 15 days. Whether it's at the Palisades as well as in Altadena, we contacted well over 15,000 in those 15 days, 15,000 sworn people as well as approximately 9,000 support personnel as well.
And to be clear, what a contact means is that the dog met with a person and consoled that person. So when we're saying like 15,000, that's how many across all the dogs who deployed to that incident, that's how many people they interacted with during that time. Because again, it was long hours. But for the dog, when they show up to one of these visits, it usually looks like, we have a very structured walking procedure and everything. And then once we're in, we kind of split up across the building and kind of meet all of the people who want to meet
Right.
dogs.
Yeah.
Which should be everybody.
That's right. By the way,
So cute.
she you can't take her home.
I know,
be
but
clear on
she's
that.
told me she wants me to take her home.
Gil Escontrias and Nyki Bell from Blue Line Dogs, how can people get in touch with you if they want to help out the organization?
Well, again, either help us out or even volunteer and such, because we are expanding. Like I said, we just are working with LA City Fire. And now, again, we visits from other agencies. BlueLineDogs.com. Go through our... BlueLineDogsLA.com. Go to our website. You'll see that as you go through that pretty extensive. We have a very, very extensive program, most importantly because of safety and most importantly because of training. But BlueLineDogsLA.com, and they can go there and they can see everything about us.
Perfect. Thank you so much for coming. And Sesame, thank you so much for being such a good girl. Thank you,
Sesame.
I know, she knows I'm talking to her. That's right.
does.
Oh, you're such a good.
She
There goes the dog
smiles.
voice, see? You're such a good girl. What a good. Okay. Thanks so much for coming, and we
Thank you
appreciate
for having
that.
us.
Thank
We'll
you for
have more
coming.
when we come back.